And this is somebody's Bondo Repair. This is, oh, there you go. Obviously, that is going to need a major repair. Well, now that I've rescued the bus from the woods, let's go ahead and have a quick walk around it here and determine exactly how bad things are on here. As always, like, comment, subscribe, check out duckshit.net for all my other social media links, and we'll be back in just a second. All right, we got that thing effectively out of the yard. We're gonna have a walk around and assess some of the rust damage on here and just see exactly what we got going on. I know this car needs a lot of help. This bus is in some sorry shape, and it was in sorry shape when Mary got it. But the 20 years having sat outside and also survived all the hurricanes that came through here, just like Ivan, such as Eleanor did. But it didn't get to see the lucky 6 foot of seawater, just the same. Well, let's have a look. Okay. Here it is. His name is Gregory. I don't like changing old names, just like Ruby is Ruby because Ruby's Ruby. Eleanor earned her name. We opened this earlier. Hey, it was actually working. Now it's not. Okay, obviously it's gonna need some new floors. Seats obviously are gonna need some help. One of the first things I noticed is the dog leg is not in that bad a shape. They're actually not too bad. Up in the front corner it needs some help, along with the floor, but I can address that all the same. The rockers don't look too bad. There's a couple spots here and there. Somebody back here butchered the wheel well. They just cut it all wide open, probably going for one of them Jersey lookers. Somebody put an oil cooler up in here where the gills would normally be, so that needs to be repaired. In fact, it had a scoop on it which broke off when I looked at it a couple years ago. The rear hatch rusted and fell off. I mean, actually rusted and fell right off. So this whole rear section up here is gonna need to be cut out and repaired. Not a whole lot left of that area. So yeah, all of this from about here down is gonna get cut. Up in here on the tailgate, got some holes. Somebody cut an access panel to get to the engine. Got an even bigger hole over here that was over the battery. Speaking of the battery area naturally is rusted. You can see the light through it. And the rear corners are gonna need help on both sides. Somebody cut out the gills once again on this side. That's gonna need a repair panel. All rust around the gas door. This whole area needs to be repaired. This was all cut out too. Rockers on this side looks pretty good. The door has a hole in it, which it never used to. Something else for me to fix. Doors do work though. The good thing is this is not rusted. That's where the door latches into. Along the roof line though, it's collected pine needles and all kinds of leaves and shit. So up here in the gutter, it's all rusted through. So all this area up through here is going to need to be repaired. I don't know what the floors look like in here. We'll find that out when we pull all the debris out of it. I am seeing some daylight through the walk-through area here between the seats. In fact, these seats look like they're pretty beat. Let's see if I can get those repaired. But who knows, I may not even use the metal pieces here, just put some seats in there instead. Get rid of them entirely. Passenger door doesn't open. It feels like it's locked, but I don't think it is, but we'll deal with that later. Wheels are all mismatched, not too surprised. Of course, the whole bottom of the front end here is all rusted through as they typically do. And this thing, I don't know who put that on. I'm sure why. They were using it for towing, but it's gonna go away. I'm gonna cut that off. It detracts from the look of the car. The bumper on here, however, looks to be in pretty good shape. Of course, it's got some notches in it for where they cut it out for the tow bar that they made on here, but I can cut that out and patch in some pieces and fix it. I don't think that'll be too big of a problem. The door doesn't like to stay closed, so it... Oh, there it is. Just closed. Well, here it is. Once again, 350Z performing tow duties. Fantastic. Some rust up here in the roof, right above the driver's and passenger seat. Ooh, this whole panel is has detached itself from the gutter. Over here it's still attached. Over here it's gone. That's new. It didn't used to be like that. That happened recently. Okay, well, we're taking this thing home. Windshield wipers detached. Oh, the pin broke off. The little squirty nozzles are gone too. Still has the original headlights, still has the turn signals. The tail lights were still there also. All these brakes, I'm sure, are quite shot. I don't have any plans on rebuilding these brakes. I'll just replace them all. I've talked about that in videos before. Always replace the brakes. Oh man, I got my work cut out for me, that's for true. There is the rear engine hatch here. It's usually rust out on the bottom. Oh man, this is actually in good shape. It's not rusted along the bottom. I don't believe it. This is probably the most intact piece of the vehicle. I get a little rust hole over here, but that's easy to fix. This is actually in really, really good shape. It's not rusted through at all. Well, look at that corner. Okay, we got two little bitty rust holes. Easy to fix stuff. And there's the rear hatch. Along the bottom of that, you can see the rust bubbles there. Chances are along the bottom of the back window also, it's all going to be rusted right along there. That's usually the way they are. When I start pulling that apart, we'll see more. Here's the rear bumper to this car. And look at that, found a master cylinder. That looks like it's from a Beetle. It's a valuable core to somebody. Down in there, so don't get lost. Of course, there's our transmission. Swing axle. This thing is going to become a driver, which means I will not be leaving it as a swing axle. It'll be converted to an IRS. I don't know what parts I'll put on here yet to make that happen, but we will document that in the video. Of course, there's our gas tank. Don't know what kind of shape that's going to be until I take it apart. And over here is the oil filter somebody put in. It goes up to that big ass oil cooler with those huge lines that are on it. I don't know what all that is about, but it's going away. That's going to be some repair work to get into. Okay. Yep, got my work cut out for me. There's our voltage regulator. Alright. Wow. I don't believe that still works. Holy shit. Alright, let's get this door closed back up. We're gonna get the tow bar under this thing and he's going home. Well, the side door is actually closed properly and straight, I might add. Everything lines up. Everything fit on there quite well. Very nice. So anyways, that's the story. You guys know. Let me go ahead and back the zoom up on here. So anyways, that's the story. You guys know I managed to get the bus home. Looking at it, it's definitely got a lot more rust problems than I thought. I'm going to have another walk around it and look a little more closely because I'm discovering today that there are more problems, so there'll be another video on this coming up in the very, very near future. This thing is just got a lot of rust in some really odd places, just really odd places. As always, like, comment, subscribe, plug that dingle bell down there next to the subscribe button, and we get updates every time I upload a video. Check out duckshit.net for all of my social media links. If there's anything you'd like to see on one of my other YouTube channels or Instagram or anything else, Twitter, you don't have a Twitter account, bet you didn't even know that, because I've never once promoted it before, ever. In fact, I don't even use it a whole lot, but you'll find a link up there on duckshit.net. So anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. I really do appreciate you, and we'll be back very shortly. Probably doing another update with Eleanor. I'm waiting on some parts. We're going to do some cutting into that body again. So anyways, stick around. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you soon. Okay, by far the worst rust damage is right here in the back. The whole area that's going to hold in the trunk lid is just toast. All along this gutter, but not the gutter itself, except for a few small places the gutter actually got some damage, but the gutter otherwise is completely intact. The damage is actually to the roof, which I find rather fascinating. And looking along here, all this damage is to the roof. The gutter is good. We get up here to the front, and this is somebody's Bondo Repair. This is oh, there you go. Obviously, that is going to need a major repair. Right up here in the forehead. This is, yeah, there's an awful lot of Bondo that was covering that. That is a huge hole. This whole area up in here, this is also all rusted. I'm going to have to replace this tray. This is the worst place in the front where the gutter has been damaged, so this whole section is relatively cheap, and I'll just buy a new piece and drop that in there. Of course, there's a hole over here, which is kind of consistent with the hole that's over there. I'm not sure what rusts that out, but something does. Probably a whole pile of, yeah, there's a pile of Bondo up on here too, so this is probably rusting 20 years ago, and then somebody just decided to cover it. The drip gutter on this side and the roof on this side only has some minor holes. There's a little hole here, a little hole over here. The rest of it, just a couple of pock marks. This is stuff that can be easily fixed on this side. It's really interesting that this side didn't get quite so much damage from rust. It just didn't. Now looking up on the inside, let's see here, night shot it. You can see that this whole area behind the drip gutter up in here is pretty bad. It doesn't look like it's structurally unsafe, but it's definitely going to need to be repaired. On the other side, it's fine, except for in the extreme rear section here, but that I can easily just cut out a section of. This one over here, I'm probably going to fabricate a rail for it. I discovered you can buy those, but they don't like to ship them because they're just too long. So it's pretty easy. It's just a couple of folds of a piece of steel. I can put it on a brake and make those pieces no problem. But this is definitely the most concerning right here. No doubt about that. That is the biggest concern. Down in here, we've also the whole rear trunk area, the tailgate. The edge of the tailgate actually looks pretty good. All this metal through here is okay. But there's a big gaping hole on either side, and that's probably because the rain comes through those things. That was just kind of a poor design, at least for Florida anyway. Yeah, the rain, if it comes sideways, will come right in through there. So, of course, it rusted out both sides. That's what we got going on here. The big sections of this whole deck is just shot, but the walls are fine. So I think I could probably make a little lip here, and I don't know if they make a repro of this part, because this whole tailgate needs a new piece. And it'd be nice if I could just get one and just drop it in and be done with it. That would be really nice. Pretty much all split window buses, the lower corners rot. And of course both my lower corners are pretty bad. Good news is though, up inside the wheel well area, virtually no rust. Almost none at all. It's like we got a little up in there. The other side's not like that at all. So this is not too bad. I was looking at the rockers again, and I discovered that while they look intact on the outside, they're actually pretty rusty on the inside, so I'm probably just going to skin that and replace it. There's definitely a hole in the door that needs to be worked on here, but it's the whole bottom of both doors are both pretty rusty. But there's replacement parts just to fix that, and they're not too hard to put back together. So I will work on that one for sure. Once we get this all gutted, we'll evaluate the floor in here. I don't know what I'm going to get into, but the rear hatch door is looking pretty bad too on the bottom. And it comes down to it, this bus needs a lot of help. But it's nothing that's outside of my abilities, because you've seen me work on Eleanor, and man, I built that car out of nothing. The good news is I have about 3 washing machines that are ready to go, so I can make a lot of flat panels for things that I need to. Oh, I didn't realize the emblem was rusted. Man, that is a damn shame. It's probably the original one too. I had no idea that was like that. I just didn't see it before. Oh, underneath here, underneath this makeshift tow bar crap that previous owner put on there. 2 previous owners, it wasn't Mary. But there's a rear, or a front apron that goes up underneath there. And when I got home, it was actually sitting on top of the tow bar. So a big piece of the whole bottom of the front of the vehicle here needs to be replaced. There's just a whole apron that goes all the way around, and it tucks into the dog legs on the sides. Speaking of dog legs, look at how good a shape they are otherwise. All up in here, no rust. And that includes up underneath, inside this area. Looking here under the driver's seat, no holes. It's definitely going to need floors. You can see where the shifter used to be. Here's the big gaping hole I was telling you about. So that's going to need some love. The dashboard is in good shape. There's no holes in the dashboard whatsoever, and I'm happy for that, because that's something that everybody's going to see. When you're in this vehicle, you're going to see that. That's one of those things that I want to have it perfect, and the fact is, if there's no rust in it, no holes, I mean, that's going to make it a whole lot easier to fix without having to worry about cosmetics too much. Up here in the headliner area, up in the console, there's some pretty heavy rust to some of these pieces, and I hope I can get these as repops. If not, I'll probably be fabricating some parts. But otherwise, the rest of the center console looks pretty good. There's no holes in the roof in the middle otherwise. You can see all the light coming through over there. Let's see. What else we got here? Gonna have to work on that door handle too. Of course, these rear wheels, this actually came off of this giant rear wheel that you see here. There was one on each side. The other one on the other side didn't hold air, so I swapped it out. But down up under here, you can see somebody turned this into a jersey looker and cut out the rear fender, and I'm not too happy about that. So that's going to be repaired and put back to stock. I just like that stock look where it comes through and it cuts across the rear wheel. It's just, I think that wheel tuck looks nice. And again, no rust up underneath the fenders in here. These are actually in some pretty good shape. It looks like it's been brush painted, and I think Mary had said that she brush painted this vehicle at some point. So, yeah. I think that whatever she had done to it has certainly helped a lot of the rust on the inside from getting worse. As you can see that area in there, you can see the brush marks. So I think it's really a good thing that she did do that. I'll probably wind up stripping a lot of it off and then treating the metal, of course, with some phosphoric acid. That should do a good job on it. And I busted the taillight sometime. It wasn't like that yesterday when I pushed the vehicle here, and at the end of the day it was. So I think I ran something into it, or I ran into it, or I pushed it. I don't know what happened. Something happened. But it was an accident. The piece of taillight lens is inside. Not that I was thinking that these lenses were reusable, but the fact is they're, yeah, kind of messed up. The big question, hey, why is there an oil cooler over here? And that's because the engine that was in this vehicle was a high-performance engine at some point. The engine that I pulled out was not connected to that oil cooler, though. But rumor has it that the engine that came out of here was a stroker and was being used for racing. So, we'll see what happens. I'll try to start it, see if I can make it run. If it turns out it's any good, we might try to rebuild it. If it turns out it's no good, well, I might just junk it and put something else in. We'll see. The engine is one of my last worries. Right now, we just need to get this car covered. Get it washed, covered, and clean it out. Get everything out of the inside of it. Well, anyway, this is going to be a really exciting project. I can't believe these tires are still holding air. That one barely, though. The valve stem on that's leaking. And there it is. Let's go ahead and give it a wash, and we'll be back with that on a video, hopefully in a couple days.